Oh, come on, Sandman. You only have 2 more issues left.
No, I don't want to do it anymore, man. These comics are bad.
You're just going to read them anyway. They have Sonic in them.
Why do you think my intake for crap is going to change because it has a blue mammal in it?
Because you know enough about hedgehogs to know that it's a mammal. Come on. It has Super Sonic in it.
Okay.
And also Al and Cal.
Wait, what? No! Well, what can I say about this cover? I will admit the grittier, darker addition to the title has the makings of a good joke, especially considering certain directions the series has gone in during the recent years. But I don't know. There's something about this cover that just cheapens it a bit. Maybe it's the additional puns slipped into the bottom here. If I were to do the same joke, I'd probably actually show Sonic in the chimney instead of coming out of it. Sally really has no business being on the cover whatsoever. So the comic begins with Robotnik in his office. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to point this out right now. Doesn't Robotnik rule the world? Shouldn't he have a better base of operations than this? I mean, this is what his office looked like in the cartoon. That's the office of an evil dictator. That's freaking awesome. I mean, this looks like he just rules over the 4th floor of some big corporation. Of course, from what we've seen, I don't think this comic takes setting into much of consideration. Resume uncompleted sentence. Robotnik in his office building, venting about how the very next animal they capture will be turned into the ultimate killer robot. Just at that moment, the SWAT bots bring in a big box holding their most recent catch, building up how big it must be. But it turns out it's just a salamander. You got me all excited and made me vow to create a super robot out of a salamander? That is not what happened. Well, I always keep my word. No, you don't. So then Robotnik throws the little guy into the roboticizer. He then complains about how hot it is, sweating oil for some reason, and then tells the buzz bomber to turn up the AC. But instead he turns on the size control knob, which makes the robot grow out of control. This results in an explosion complete with Baba Bluey sound effect, and the lizard bot grows to an enormous size. Your machine's overload has made me the strongest robot ever! This world will soon belong to Universal Manda! Okay, A, that's a stupid name, and B, the machine just made you bigger, not stronger. We cut to Naho Village, where Sonic makes the same 4th wall breaking joke for, what, the 3rd time now? At the same time, the Universal Manda is spotted on the plot device screen. Seriously, why is this a thing? Couldn't they have just felt the giant robot trashing the place above ground? Anyway, Sonic bounces up the entrance to combat the lizard himself. Once outside, Sonic spots Eggman flying away talking about how the Universal Manda is too strong and it's about to destroy Mobius. I'm getting out of here! Wait! Is that the entrance to Knothole? Hey, I've been looking for that! Sonic sees the big bad bot and just attacks it head on. This results in him getting eaten. Yuck! I forgot the old saying, never eat anything blue. Aside from blueberries? And the part ends with something that actually is cutaway worthy, with Sonic being seemingly eaten by the giant salamander. In the next part of the comic, everyone is mourning the loss of Sonic, and we actually get a pretty funny exchange between Antoine and Rotor that actually feels like an Antoine-y exchange. But as it turns out, Sonic didn't really die. Surprise! As he manages to get thrown up by spinning around his teeth? What? Okay, so he gets out, runs off, and makes another back pun all the while. It's apparent he'd rather not discuss my family tree, so I think I'll leave for now. Ha! It's funny because tree. So deciding that he's not strong enough to take on the Universal Manda because charging straight at him didn't work, Sonic runs off to his backup plan. Luckily I was able to collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds along with 50 rings and stash them near the star post. I mean, I only just so happen to collect 50 objects that make me nigh invincible to anything, in addition to teleporting me to an alternate dimension when passing a pole I just so happen to stash them near. But no! Here, you go into the special zone to turn super, and not use those emeralds of ultimate power laying on the ground right there. Why is Gallagher's version of it so inconvenient? You'd think in a narrative they'd simplify it, but this just sounds hard to pull off. Especially since it's kind of impossible to do. How did he get the Chaos Emeralds if he needs them to get into the gulp? Ah, whatever. Anyway, Sonic goes to the special zone collecting 50 rings with the help from the reader. I'd rather be playing Sonic Generations. And the power of collecting all of them in the special zone allows him to turn into Super Sonic. Now that he has his super form, Sonic can confront Universal Commander, partaking in an epic battle between the two, tearing up the forest and charging up big, or Sonic just charges at him again, runs right through him this time, which causes Universal Commander as much stress as attacking his armpits with the featherwood, and dashes back to the knothole to pick up a gadget they got from the robot truck from the last issue. Apparently it had a reduce and large component. That doesn't sound plot conveniency at all. Sonic uses this component that had no real use in a roboticizer, and uses it to shrink the Universal down to size, crushing him under his foot. Yes, I have a question, about this issue. Something's been bothering me. Why did Sonic have to go super for that? I mean, there's literally zero need for it. The only super thing he does is phase with the giant robot, which he didn't have to do. He could have easily ran around him or even under his legs. He doesn't fly, he doesn't move any faster, he doesn't do anything special. The only thing he seems to do is take up 2 spare pages Gallagher probably needed to fill. This comic succeeded in ruining Super Sonic. I should just abandon ship right now.
Oh no you don't. I'm locking the door. You're not going anywhere.
That door is broken. It's like literally off the hinges. You can't really lock it.
Just review the damn comic.
Okay, this time we got 4 single-page joke issues, a Robotnik birthday card you have to rip the comic and lose a page to take out, which isn't really that big a loss in retrospect, and a Super Sonic pinup, probably to make up for the lame story. Yeah, we know that story had no point to include Super Sonic. Here, have this pretty picture. Just tear it out of the comic and hang it up on your wall. I don't count make an appearance in one of these short stories, so I guess I have to mention it. And when you know it, they actually succeed in being less funny than they were in their original debut. Mostly because it fails to have Sonic failing to exist in their topsy-turvy dimension. We live in a special secret zone where the normal laws of physics don't exist. We have no gravity, no up, no down. That is false. We can clearly see that you guys do have some sort of up and down as you're seeing standing, not floating around in some infinite void. I think they're trying to say that they're from a special zone in Sonic 1, but that zone had down as well. It was a cube maze where you're stuck in that kept twisting around. Whatever, Sonic isn't even in this story, or any of the Freedom Fighters, so I don't really care about the world these guys live in, as it seems to not really have any impact on anything. So the second story starts out with an entire 6 pages of gag stories, one of which developed Belly's interest as being a hairdresser. Yeah, where the hell were you in the first story? And it opens up with Sonic taking a nap and Tails telling us to be very quiet. Tails, why are you yelling Sonic's name and telling us to be quiet? Yeah, I didn't mention this before because it irritated me, but the opening of every story and every issue so far began with stating Sonic's name in this big, bold context. It might have seemed like a clever way to work the title of the story so no one pays attention to the dialogue, but it really just comes off as forced. It makes the first line of every story sound incredibly awkward. With this one though, it's just anticlimactic. Sonic the Hedgehog is exhausted after the ferocious battle in the first story. Aww. So we need to let him rest and be very quiet. Okay. I'll take over the hero chores while he naps. So Tails goes out and finds a vantage point so he can look out for evil. Just at the bottom of the hill, however, is Robotnik celebrating the destruction of the giant robot that almost destroyed everything last story. I guess it's cool how these stories are being and show a type of continuity now. It makes them all connected in their idiocy. Robotnik sends his cronies out to kill, burn, pillage, rape, and jaywalk, and a buzz bomber and overnight McTails, who had yet to know his large panic going on right behind him, their first target. But, you know, it's a buzz bomber and an Orbanaut. Tails takes him out pretty easily, although the way he takes out the Buzz Bomber is... yeah. Anyway, because of his easy win, Tails feels invincible and decides to attempt to take out Robotnik by himself. It literally takes him only 3 panels after entering to get captured, only to have Sonic swoop in and save him. How did he know where he was? I mean, talk about Deus Ex Machina. Sonic just comes in and saves Tails with no explanation as to where he came from, how he knew Tails was in trouble, and how he found out where he was. So surprise, surprise, this issue isn't all that great. I just realized the majority of it is filler with one-page joke stories and tearing out the comic crap, taking up an entire 6 pages of this 24-page book. Super Sonic feels, if not shoved in, then underutilized and underwhelming. And the Tails story is just kind of meh. It seems as though this comic is running the trend of either being bad or just mediocre. And this one, it just had a little bit of both worlds.